AEW Dynamite. The string of good shows has come to an end. Very lame show tonight. Very boring show tonight. Boring. Nothing really thought-provoking. Nothing really worth investing my time into. MJF and Adam Page chose their stipulation for Revolution. I actually enjoyed what they did. I would have changed a thing or two, but for the most part, we're getting a stipulation match at Revolution. Swerve Strickland. I told you, man. I told you. I didn't think he was a heel. He's not a heel. ... Yet. And we got a couple of banger matches signed for Revolution. Other than that, this was very much a Dr. Disrespect sleeping emoji. Or sleeping gif. Anyway, we're going to the OTS venue. I'm with Jesse tonight, as always. And we're going to drink a couple of cold beverages on this Wednesday night. And when I get there, I got one very important question for everybody here on this Wednesday night. You know what that is. What the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining us right here on Off the Script. This is your AEW Dynamite post show for February 25th, 2026. I'm your host, JD from New York. As always, I don't know why what the fuck is that, man? Holy shit. Did you guys see that? Why did they show the old Mustang, man? What is going on here? I thought I got rid of that graphic. No, we don't use that graphic no more. I don't know why that showed up. I don't even have that on my computer anymore. Anyway, man, there he is. Look at him. I'm over here talking to myself about Mustang graphics. And then we got Jesse over here, man. How you doing over there?
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
How you doing, bruh?
I don't know. My computer just fucking shit out on me for about 5 seconds.
I know the feeling. I started my stream today, and camera didn't want to work. Had an update, and I missed it. I think when you update the camera hub from Elgato, it comes out of OBS, so you have to reinstall the camera in OBS.
Bro, you gotta learn the lesson, man. You can't ever update OBS before you go live. Okay.
Yeah, I see that.
You got to give yourself at least an 8-hour window,
man, cause shit don't want to work once you do an update, man.
No.
Oh
No. How you doing, man? How's the weather over there, man? It's fucking another 20 inches of snow over here, and it was at least 42 degrees today.
Yeah, I was gonna say it wasn't cold here. As a matter of fact, it was probably about 50 degrees.
You told me we were going to get 60 degrees, and I haven't seen anything close to that.
I did. It looks like I lied, man.
You got 60 degrees last week. Are you fibbing me?
No, man. We had a nice weather. It was spring. We were all worrying what happened to the good weather we had last week because it's back to normal. Now, we did get about 45 or 50.
This guy bullshit me. He says he's in Chicago. I think he's in Cuba.
I'm telling you, man. If it makes you feel better right now, my screen is saying 28 degrees.
We're 37 degrees. We're still above freezing. That's not bad.
Let me see. I think it's still.
I did wake up to an inch of snow this morning, which I had to go out and reshovel again. And if I see another coating of snow, man, I think I'm gonna fucking lose the rest of my hair in my head.
Yeah, you guys got it bad because we didn't get any snow. We have no snow. There's not a flake on the ground out here, man.
51 degrees, says Tone C in Detroit, man. Can you guys send some of this weather over here, please?
See, 51 Detroit. See, if it's Detroit 50, we get 52, man. Wasn't bad. It's nice.
I don't know. Hopefully we get into the spring and fuck that groundhog. I tell you that. Fuck that guy.
That groundhog fucked us.
Yeah, big time. Dynamite tonight, man. They were on a decent string of shows the last couple of weeks, and we are two of the most honest fellows in the community. I think so, anyway. Some people may not think that, but I think we are.
To a fault.
Yeah, to a fault. To a fault. We wear, or at least me, I wear my emotions on my sleeve. Sometimes we get out of control, but it's all in good faith. It's all in good fun. We love pro wrestling. Tonight was not it, bro. I don't know how you felt, man. I was very unenthused about tonight's show outside a segment here or a segment there. I did not think tonight was a good show.
It was all over the place.
Yeah.
That is my nice way of putting it with that because I'm not gonna say here and say it was a terrible show.
Wasn't a terrible show. It didn't entertain me to a point where I feel like fulfilled watching pro wrestling.
Yeah. It was kind of all over the place. It left me asking questions about one segment as they've already entered the next segment. I'm still trying to figure out what the hell happened in that previous segment, and we're already into the next one, and I'm lost in the next one. It was kind of all over the place, and I think the main event is a good example of what I mean by the show as a whole. It was just all over the place, man.
Yeah, I didn't care for that main event. I mean, the more Tony Khan wants to do mini versions of Anarchy in the arena, the next time he does Anarchy in the arena, it's not going to feel special anymore. So we'll definitely touch upon that for sure. But as far as the show tonight, the two big things coming into tonight's show were MJF and Hangman, and the stipulation that was about to be chosen between both of them for their AEW Revolution World Championship match. We'll talk about that. And then Swerve Strickland. I was looking forward to this the most to see if he gave us any sort of explanation or any sort of description of why he did what he did. He did that tonight, and it was basically what I had in mind anyway. And I'm still keeping within my opinion from last week. I don't think he's fully turned heel yet. And we'll definitely touch upon that. But I usually give the ball to Jesse here, let him run the first play on Wednesday nights. What was the biggest takeaway for you on tonight's show?
We'll stay right here with Swerve and his actions and the direction of Swerve, where we're going with this. But I also want to touch on MJF and Hangman. So I'm going to pass it back to you. MJF and Hangman or Swerve?
Let's do MJF and Hangman. Let's start with the good.
All right. MJF and Hangman. I did enjoy this segment. I thought it was fun. I mean, if we're going to look at it from a look at it at its core and everything they did, and everything, the way, all right, the way that they went about it, it feels kind of like weird and wonky. But at the end of the day, I enjoyed the segment. I thought it was fun. Look, it was just gonna be a Texas death match, the whole coin flip thing like that. I think it adds, to the MJF character and who he is. Of course, he's gonna try to, cheat his way to get to what he wants. I thought for a second, they were gonna actually roll with the stipulation that he put out there, that he's the only one, that can't be eliminated and everything like that. I thought they were gonna try to run with that, but turns out it was just a vehicle used in this segment to get us to the Texas death match and everything like that. So it was fun. The segment was fun. I did enjoy it.
Yeah, listen, I enjoyed the segment for what it was. I've seen some people complaining about it on social media, saying that it was lame, and it was, I know, crazy, shocking. I know people complaining on social media, saying that it was lame, it was this, it was that, it was uneventful, it was all these other things. MJF is a heel. Okay. And, a lot of people kind of look at that and get lost somehow. I don't understand why. He comes out, He throws his gum onto a fan, and he comes out and he's got a coin flip. And the reason why he went with the coin flip is because last week he told the fans that everybody was going to decide on what the stipulation was. He was going to leave it in the hands of the fans. This week he said, no, fuck the fans. He threw his gum on the fan. And he said, no, fuck you guys, basically, in so many words. So he decided upon a coin flip. Now, Adam Page is there. He's just standing there listening to MJF heel it up. We get the coin flip, and he tells Tony Schiavone, does MJF, read what the coin says. Tell everybody what side of the coin it landed on. And it was in favor of MJF's stipulation. Now, MJF's stipulation is basically a no DQ match, but it's only working in his favor. If Adam Page picked up a weapon or used any tactics in a no DQ match, he'd get himself disqualified. A one-sided no DQ match. So MJF has no rules, and Adam Page has to abide by a traditional one-on-one match. So it was a very unfair advantage for Adam Page. So that was the match he wanted. Page wanted a Texas death match. So the coin landed on MJF stipulation. Now, how did that happen? It happened because it was a two-sided coin. So MJF, again, a heel. So he took the coin. He tried to escape. He tried to basically Harvey Dent his way out of this situation. And he moved on. But he was then stopped by Jet Speed. He was stopped by Brody King and a bunch of baby faces. And he was bullied back into the ring. So at that point, whatever happened was null and void. Tony Khan got into Tony Schiavone's ear saying, due to MJF cheating in this coin flip, it is now official. It's a Texas death match. The one part I don't like about it, Jesse, is the fact that MJF was bullied. Now, I get it. I get what they were going for, but he was already beaten by Brody King in about 30 seconds. I think we've seen enough of MJF getting pushed around as the world champion, okay? I don't like it happening again and him being bullied by 3 or 4 or 5 different baby faces to get back into the ring, to get into the ring with Adam Page. I would have done this a little bit differently. I don't know how you thought about it, or maybe you thought about doing it a little bit differently. I would have just had Adam Page already kind of know in the back of his head that MJF was going to weasel himself out of this stipulation and kind of cheat the system. So when the coin flip happened, I would have had Adam Page take the coin and catch it in midair, knowing before it even hits the air that MJF was going to use a two-sided coin. He'd catch the coin, he'd look at it, double-sided, and we'd go from there. Instead of making Max look like a fucking geek and get bullied back into the ring, you could have just gave the reins to Adam Page and have him already thinking in the back of his head that MJF's not going to go about this in a genuine way, so I'm going to be a step ahead of him. That's the only thing I would have changed. I thought other than that, it was a good segment.
I actually said something of the same effect. And knowing who MJF was, as soon as that coin came out to be flipped, right away I would have been questioning that coin. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Let me see that fucking coin. Hold on. I said the very same thing. I was like, I don't know why he let it get this far. You know who he is. You trust this guy to not try to cheat his way? No, let me see that coin. And right away, The part where he got bullied back by, like 6 baby faces, I was fine by that. He's a cowardly heel, at the end of the day. So that's par for the course and for his gimmick. But I feel like we're splitting hairs at that point. At the end of the day, it was funny. It was kind of cool. I see where they were going with it. It was fine. I mean, I want to make sure that I keep AEW on their toes creatively, but I don't want to split hairs, if that makes any sense. Just because the way they did it is not the way I would have done it, I don't think it was a bad segment. It's just I would have done it a little bit differently. It still came off as fine. It was fun. It was cool. I don't think the way they did it hurt anybody's gimmick or hurt anybody's character. But I do agree with you. I would have done that with a little bit different. Like Hangman should have been all ahead and in front of any antics that MJF was going to try to pull off on this bullshit. So I do agree right there.
Yeah, that's the only thing I would have changed. Other than that, it was a fine segment. Very straightforward. We got the stipulation now. Texas Death Match, AEW Revolution, MJF putting the World Championship on the line against Adam Page. If Adam Page loses, he can no longer challenge for the AEW Championship again forever. And MJF indirectly didn't mention Cody by name, but mentioned the situation, which he did say, the last time we went about this situation, the last guy that did this, I basically ended his AEW career. So they did bring up the fact that this has happened once before, and we are going to see that again on Saturday, March 15th. And I do not think MJF should lose the World Championship. No questions asked. He should not lose the World Championship way too soon, and there is a lot more work to be done, especially with the ratings being up now. They were almost near 700,000 this past week. Don't know why you would take the belt and put it on Adam Page, who honestly, Page is a great wrestler, but he's not a great champion, and I think he's a ratings killer. That's just my opinion. So I don't think that's the direction they should go in. By the way, MJF also filed for a trademark, Jesse. Today it was in the news. MJF has filed a trademark for Big Hebrew.
He's not the biggest guy around.
He filed for Big Hebrew, bro.
You're gonna start saying that?
Listen, man, if Roman Reigns could be OTC 1, 2, 3, 4, why can't MJF be Big Hebrew, man?
I guess so, because he's not a big guy.
He's not a big guy, but he's Big Hebrew. So there you go.
Roll with it, I guess, man.
Roll with it. Swerve. That was the other big thing that happened on tonight's show, man. I know you had a lot to say about this last week. We got into a little friendly banter back last week. I was firm in my opinion last week that I didn't think it was a full-fledged heel turn. I mentioned this to Solomonster last night on TNT, episode 136 last night. I don't even know what fucking number we're on. They all go by so quickly. He laughed at me, and he said the same thing that you told me last week. What the fuck does he got to do to get a heel turn? Does he got to fucking commit? What does he got to fucking beat up his grandmother? Like, what does he got to do?
I'll tell you what. Next time I see you,
which may be next Friday, by the way,
which may be very soon. I'm gonna replay everything Swerve did to Kenny Omega, and I'm gonna commit it to memory. And when I see you, I am going to do everything that Swerve did to Kenny to you, and I want you to get up from it and be like, okay, everything's fine between me and Jesse. He definitely didn't just turn heel on me. Everything is great.
Well, my opinion still sticks today as it did last week. I'm still in the same boat that I'm in. I may be by myself, but maybe you guys in the chat agree with me or not. I don't know. But what did you think, Jesse? Did you get a sense that he is now 100% fully heel after what he did last week and then the explanation this week?
Bro, I had him at 100% fully heel after last week.
Did that change this week?
No, he didn't turn babyface this week. No. No, he's still heel from last week.
You didn't see a tweener this week?
He's still heel from last week.
People cheered him.
People cheer MJF.
But people mostly boo MJF.
but some people cheer him.
Some people cheer. Those are the smart people.
He's our scumbag.
Those are the smart people. MJF's a cool champion.
I think the smart people could be cheering for Swerve.
I don't know. I don't think he's a full-fledged heel yet. He gave the explanation tonight, simple as it may be. You know, it was one thing that you touched upon last week. You know, Kenny said that Brody King is the most dangerous man in AEW. Swerve took offense to that, and he wanted to prove Kenny wrong. So he proved that he is the most dangerous man in AEW by putting him through a table with a vertebraker and choking him out over the top rope with a chain. So that's number one. Number two, he also mentioned, I'm not going to let anything stop me from getting the AEW World Championship, and beating you put me one step closer to getting my belt back, which has always been the case for him. That's the one thing that he's always wanted, heel or not. So I don't get a sense that he's operating as a bad guy. He just took out somebody who's also as popular as he is, who was in the way to get what he wants. I don't necessarily think that's a heel. I just think that's doing what needs to be done and doing business to get back to where you feel you belong.
I would almost, and let me stress this, I would almost buy into what you're trying to sell me.
Yeah.
If Swerve had done what he did to Kenny before their match or in the back or anything like that, because the reason he took him out was because he didn't want to have to face him, because he knows how good Kenny is, and since Kenny is in the way of him getting the world title, then he had to take him out. Bro, he already beat Kenny Omega. There was no reason to, quote unquote, take him out if he already defeated him in the match. At that point, Kenny Omega was no longer in the way of Swerve getting to the world title. He did what he did because he was being a dick, because he turned heel. What he did had no function. Had no function to get him any closer to the world title. He'd already beat him. It was over. Kenny was no longer in the way. I got you beat. This story is over. I'm moving past you. He didn't have to fucking worry about Omega anymore. But he yet decided to do what he did. Why? Because he turned heel. Now, if he'd have did that before the match or something like that, you could have rationalized that with me by saying, hey, he took him out because he didn't want to have to deal with him in a match. He felt like he already dealt with him. He felt like he was more dangerous to him, so he took him out to get him out of the way and get straight to the world title. He already beat him. You already fucking beat him. What's the point?
Sure. But it was the words that Kenny said to him that Brody was the most dangerous man, and he wanted to prove that he was wrong.
I already beat you. I might not be the world's dangerous man to you, but you're on your back looking at the fucking lights. You are no longer in my periph. You don't matter anymore. Move on.
Those words cut deep, bro. Those words cut pretty deep to Swerve. What do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, that's how a heel would feel about them. That's exactly how a heel would feel about them. That is some heel shit. Words mean nothing if we're supposed to be semi-cool and you said those words to me and I already beat you, I'd have been like, okay, maybe you got a point. Maybe you don't. I don't know. But I beat your ass, so I don't have to worry about you anymore. Skedaddle. Move on.
I think this is a guy that is still somewhat in between, not there yet, that will use a heel tactic to get ahead because he's going to do whatever it takes to get that world championship back.
He already did. He already beat him.
Now he's got to beat the next guy. We'll see what happens, because tonight Brody King challenged. You know, Brody King was mentioned by Kenny Omega, so he's taking that pretty seriously now. He's taking him up on that offer. You know, I'm the most dangerous man in AEW. You say you're the most dangerous man. I'm looking for a fight. So the match is made for Revolution. So it's not going to be Kenny and Swerve. It's going to be Brody and Swerve. So that's the match booked for Revolution. And it's going to be interesting to see if Swerve actually uses those same tactics, because Brody's not winning at all. There's no reason why he should beat Swerve. Oh. It's going to be interesting to see if Swerve uses those same tactics in Los Angeles on March 15th against Brody King and gets past him, because I do believe MJF will retain. I think Swerve is going to be at that point the number one contender, and then going into dynasty, I think we're going to get Swerve and MJF for the world title.
Here's where I will I'll meet you sort of kind of halfway. The part where Swerve pulled RB Edwards in front of him to take that V trigger.
Yeah.
If that spot had happened the way that it did, and then everybody's trying to claim it was a heel turn, and then Swerve won, and then never attacked Kenny Omega afterward, he just kind of just looked at him and just kind of walked off and left him there. And then when people started saying he turned heel because he pulled the referee in front of him, I would be with you. Like, hey, he proved that he will do whatever it takes to get what he wants back, and pulling the referee in front of him, and I wouldn't classify that as a heel turn. I'll be right there with you. But the fact of the post-match beatdown on top of pulling the female ref in front of him, I think you are definitely 100% heel when you pull the female referee to save your own ass. That's some heel shit right there. That is nothing a tweener nor a baby face would ever fucking do.
Well, we will keep a close eye on this because I still think that more work needs to be done, even though he did brutalize Kenny Omega. We'll see how he handles everything going into a match with MJF because, again, sure, AEW is not afraid to book a heel versus heel match, but I don't think they're going to book a heel versus heel match with MJF being the ultimate heel, top of the top heel in AEW. You're going to need somebody that's going to go into that match and be a babyface and be somebody the fans are going to rally behind to take down the evil heel champion. So I don't think we're there yet. So that interesting situation we talked about as well with Hangman and MJF at Revolution. Is Swerve going to get involved? Is he going to fuck over Hangman? You know, how deep does that desire to get the championship back run? You know, he did mention that he sat down with Hangman before All In and they put the past behind them. And he did aid in Hangman beating Moxley. Hangman was the champion. Swerve and him have kind of reconciled a little bit. They're still fight forever enemies, but there is some kind of bond there. Knowing that Adam Page has put basically his AEW career on the line because he can't challenge for the World Championship anymore if he loses, does Swerve take advantage of that and take one more out of the equation, knowing that Hangman has put himself out there as weak? So I don't know. So we'll see what happens. I do think Swerve is going to eventually get involved in that. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
I think, so I'm kind of with you in that they don't necessarily, well, I don't know what they want to fucking do, but I know I would not want to put a heel versus heel match. But at the same time, Swerve has not gotten to MJF yet.
No, not in AEW, no.
No, it's not there yet. So, I mean, something could change before Swerve eventually gets to his world title match. Who knows?
We'll see. Again, this is the most interesting part of the show. So outside that, honestly, chat, the MJF Adam Page segment, the Swerve promo, Nana and Swerve interrupting the show after the first match. There was some decent wrestling tonight. Other than that, there wasn't really much else to really talk about or get excited about or get invested in. So we're going to try our best to go over this show tonight. This is your AEW Dynamite post show with myself and the Chi-Town Smart. So thank you guys for joining me here on this Wednesday night. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Make sure you guys go check out Jesse's channel on YouTube at Chi-Town Smart. Follow him on Twitter as well. Same at Chi-Town Smart. Any news, any updates on your side of the fence there, bro?
I did another Hot Ones challenge.
You did another Hot Ones challenge. Why on earth would you do that?
I'm a fucking glutton for punishment.
When did you do this?
I did it on Monday, man. And it was painful.
With the same sauce?
Yeah, man. You got to do one with me.
I will. But I don't know why you would expect different results if the first time failed so miserably.
So I thought it wouldn't hurt as bad because So I'm like, all right, I've got the tolerance up now. I can do this. No, man, it doesn't get any fucking easier. No, it really, really fucking hurts. You got to get some of this stuff, man. Grab some and we'll go wing for fucking wing, man. Let's do it. I got a tolerance built up. I said this last week. It doesn't work. It doesn't fucking work.
Well, I don't know, man. Did you learn your lesson from the first time going into the second time? Were you properly prepared to kind of dumb down the heat? What'd you have as a refreshment? Did you have a milkshake, milk itself?
No. I don't tolerate milk. Intolerant. So the plan was, and this is gonna sound fucking stupid, but bear with me. The plan was to not drink any water for as long as I could. Because when you drink water, and everybody who's into hot sauce, they know this. When you drink water, it just spreads the hot sauce like through everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't clean it out.
No.
Now it's spread everywhere, and it hurts even more. So I went a while without drinking water, and I'll say this: it did help a little bit, but my God, I'm talking fractions at this point. This shit just gets hot. If you can tolerate milk and milkshakes and stuff, I think it'll go a lot smoother for you.
Yeah, I don't have that problem, thank God, because I love my morning coffee 3 times a day. I would probably be prepped and ready to go with a couple of milkshakes for sure.
Oh man, I gotta figure out a trick, Pepto beforehand or something. I don't know, but it hurts so bad, man.
Well, I listen. I don't know what possessed you to do that, but hopefully your fans enjoyed that. So go check that out on Jesse's channel. That was Monday. What was that, during Raw?
Yeah, I'm in the process of extracting all of that and making a separate upload to it. And so right now that's down to about an hour of content. I want to shrink it down.
Probably more entertaining than what happened on Monday night. Raw.
That's what people in the chat say.
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree, and I haven't even watched this. So Raw was terrible. Raw was terrible.
It was, so for me, I was just talking about this earlier. For me, I was more focused on AJ Styles. I figured I'll just chalk it up as a non-canon show and the night for AJ Styles. So, because it wasn't a great, but at the same time, I don't think it was about being a great show. But they should be, and I also mentioned this too, they should be focused on putting on great shows because we are in WrestleMania season and the build does not feel like it's a WrestleMania season.
No, it's not, and I don't really think that they're capable of putting on good shows anymore. That's the feeling I get. So I don't know. It is WrestleMania season, but it seemingly feels like WWE has gotten lost on the road to WrestleMania. Anyway, go check that out on Jesse's channel. Hit that thumbs up. It's going to be a slow night tonight. So we got 1,500 people in here. Let's try for 750 likes. We're about halfway there. If you guys are in the chat, hit that thumbs up. Super chats are open. Get them on in. It's the best way to support what we do here on Wednesday night. And tonight we are sponsored by Blue Chew. BlueChew.com. Code JD at checkout. Blue Chew Gold specifically. Code JD at checkout, 10% off your order of Blue Chew Gold. We'll go over them a little bit later. And please go check out the rest of the content on the channel. We're closing out a decent February here. Monday, we were live, great audience. Friday, I was at the House of Glory show, back on commentary. MJF and Zilla fought 2 in the main event. And then Andrade versus Charles Mason. Happy to be back there. Had a great time. Saturday, we went live for the SmackDown post show in the afternoon. You guys did incredible numbers for that. So go check that out. Monday, we were live for Raw. Big numbers on that show. Tuesday night, last night, episode 136 of TNT with the Solid Monster. Big numbers as always there. We're going to ride the rest of this week out strong. Friday, SmackDown. Saturday, The Chamber. So I will be live, of course, covering it all. And I'm expecting a big audience for The Chamber. Who's in the mystery box? The betting odds have it as Danhausen, Jesse.
Woo.
I know.
Woo.
It's very, very exciting stuff over there. So look forward to that. I can't wait to share the weekend with you guys. Going to be good. And please hit that subscribe button down below. Turn the bell for all notifications. And again, social media, you guys know where to find me. All right, man, let's start at the top here. Listen, you know, I said this was a very lackluster show outside the 2 segments that Jesse and I already talked about at the top. You know, Jon Moxley, he's the new Orange Cassidy because Tony Khan has this thing about starting the show with Orange Cassidy. It was a meme You know, back in the first few years of AEW, every time you watch Dynamite, there's Orange Cassidy starting their show. Now it's, you watch Dynamite, and Jon Moxley is wrestling in a Continental Championship Eliminator match. Now, Moxley has done some really good work in ring. I still don't understand where we're going with the Death Riders. Some of them are operating as a heel. Jon Moxley is operating as a babyface. I mean, I just don't know, and we haven't gotten any explanation. He's been on this crusade, Jesse. He's going through the Don Callis family. He's taking out Mark Davis. He's taking out tonight El Clone. He's wrestled Takeshita at Grand Slam with another match against Takeshita coming up at Revolution. And he won the Continental Classic. And the Death Riders and the Don Callis family have been going back and forth. Every single week on Collision, we get a multi-man match with the Callis family and the Death Riders. It's the same shit every single week. Moxley's trying to pretend he is AEW's version of Roman Reigns. And in some sense, I guess he is, because he's the biggest guy there. He's the ace there, right? He's one of the aces there. So Roman Reigns either closes or he opens. Moxley is opening. So he's kind of channeling his inner Roman Reigns here for AEW. Nobody expected Jon Moxley to lose this match. Nobody expects Jon Moxley to lose any of these Continental Eliminator matches. And bro, I don't understand. I'm a fan of good pro wrestling, but to see Jon Moxley go 16 minutes with El Clone, I don't know if that's the best use of Jon Moxley and the best start to a Dynamite. That's just me. I don't know how you feel.
Probably not it, is it?
No.
So this was, and let's mention this at the same time. This was a very wrestling heavy show.
Yes.
And when they go through these sometime, when they have their shows where they have more backstage segments and they have more in-ring interviews and they have things like that, I think the shows flow better and they feel better. When they have these nights like tonight and they have these wrestling heavy shows, it's just match after match, and you're constantly asking yourself, why are they fighting again? You know, and the match, like you just said, this one went this long, and it's just not anything that anyone would have asked for. It's just way too much wrestling on my pro wrestling show. I need less wrestling on my pro wrestling show so that you can have more time to explain to me why the wrestling is happening. All right. When you just give me wrestling and then wrestling and then wrestling and then more wrestling, I'm just kind of just like, why is all this stuff happening? Are we building to a pay-per-view? Where's the tension build? You know, we did get some with, MJF and Hangman. I wouldn't call it a tension build. It was just kind of like a match reveal party, wrestling style, like a gender reveal for wrestling fans, basically. I would like more story and less wrestling, basically. And we got a whole lot of fucking wrestling from two guys that nobody really expect to watch that much wrestling from. And I think that does bring down the pacing of the show.
Yeah, I mean, this is just Tony Khan creatively. I don't think he's very good at what he does. He just puts matches together. This is just Tony Khan kind of circling around and around and around, and the wheels on his car are just going around and around and around. It's the Death Riders who cut a promo backstage referencing the Don Callis family. One of the members of the Don Callis family mentions the Death Riders, and a match is made, and then boom, that's all we got. There's no dialogue between either faction. There's no shared TV time between either faction outside of a match like this or a 6-man tag or an 8-man tag, which has been par for the course on Collision. I mean, every single Collision, there's a multi-man match consisting of both of these factions every week. So I don't know how anybody could get excited about that. It's like you're watching a fucking rerun 4, 5, 6 weeks in a row. Who actually enjoys something like that? Plus, you got Jon Moxley, who's theoretically running through every member of the fucking Don Callis family outside of the big guns. And then he's running through the Don Callis family in order to get to Takeshita, who he wrestled at Grand Slam, but he's going to wrestle Takeshita again because they went to a 20-minute time limit draw in Australia. So they're running the match back at Revolution, but Moxley's going to run through all these guys. Last week it was Davis. This week it's El Clone. He beat Josh Alexander. I mean, how many guys does he have to go through? Like, at the same time, you're making the Don Callis family look weak, and you're basically showing us the bottom of the barrel guys don't mean anything, and the top of the fucking mountain guys in the Don Callis family, they're the guys that we only need to pay attention to because the rest of the group are fucking losers. But then my question is, what happens when the Don Callis family's done with the Death Riders and they feud with the next faction? It's going to be the same thing all over again. Another faction's going to run through members like El Clone and Josh Alexander and this guy and that guy, Mark Davis, and it's going to be the same thing all over again. And additionally, where's Takeshita? That's the one thing that we need a build for, because that's the match of the pay-per-view. Who gives a fuck about Jon Moxley and El Clone? It's a fine wrestling match, but predictable. Nobody expects Moxley to lose. Nobody expects El Clone to get a championship match when Takeshi's the one in the family getting the match at the pay-per-view. None of this makes any sense. It's just a match out there to eat up 20 minutes and then on to the next segment. This is why I have a problem with shows like this. Like Jesse said, too much wrestling, very wrestling heavy, not enough dialogue. There's no investment in the characters themselves. It's just wrestling matches. Give me a promo between Moxley and Don Callis and give me a why. Give me a direction going into the next week. How about that?
Yeah. No, I agree. I think how long did you say this match was? 16 minutes?
16 minutes.
I think a 10-minute in-ring promo between Moxley and Don Callis would have been great. It would have been way better than watching them just. It would have been great. It would have served more. It would have got us more interested. I would have loved to have seen Takeshita out there, but a wrestling match is not always the answer, especially when you're trying to build to a pay-per-view. We're building we're gonna see the wrestling at the pay-per-view. That is the wrestling we want to see. We want you to make us care more about the matches that are going to happen at the pay-per-view by giving us all of this dialogue and story on Wednesday nights and on Saturday nights. But we don't need this much rest. He gave us an Anarchy in the Arena style type match tonight. Make people pay for that. Make people pay $40 for that and give them the reason to want to spend that money during these shows. A little bit less of this and a little bit more of that. I think we can get the right balance here.
I think you hit the nail on the head. Give people a reason to want to watch the pay-per-view even more and set the pay-per-view up by what you do on the weekly television shows. That should be reserved for the story. That should be reserved for the dialogue, and the pay-per-views should be where you give us the most of your pro wrestling. But we've been preaching that for a few years now, and nobody seems to listen. They're going to do what they want to do because they're the professionals, quote unquote, and we are not. So,
bro, let me tell you something. And this is just me. This is solely me as a wrestling fan. If they never wrestled a match on Wednesdays and they only wrestled matches on Saturday and they only spent Wednesdays building up the pay-per-views, segments, go to these people's fucking houses. I don't care. Just tension building. If all they did was build on Wednesdays and I had to see all of my wrestling at the pay-per-views, I would be through the moon. I would fucking love it because I'm going to pay to see the wrestling and you're going to get me invested into wanting to see the wrestling by the stories you're going to tell me on Wednesday. I don't need to see fucking pro wrestling for 2 hours every fucking Wednesday night. I don't. I really don't.
No, it's another instance of one company giving us too little and the other company giving us too much. On Monday Night Raw, I don't even know how many matches we got on Monday. 3 matches? AEW gives you 6 matches and fucking a 10-minute overrun on Wednesday nights. It's a little too much. There's no medium on this show. They just go full throttle. So Moxley and El Clone, Continental title eliminator. We'll pick it up at the end here because there's no reason to go over fucking move for move, spot for spot here. So Moxley got a cutter. He didn't get all of it, but it led to a double down. And at the end of the match, Moxley tried for a curb stomp, and Clone used that momentum to vault out of it and there was 5 minutes remaining. Justin Roberts gets on the microphone and says there's 5 minutes remaining. This match went 15 fucking minutes, 16 minutes. Wow. Clone went up top, hit a double stomp for a near fall. Clone wanted his portal bomb. Moxley managed to spin that into a paradigm shift and quickly got to his feet. Moxley drove it home with a Death Rider, which basically fucking spiked Clone on the top of his head. Great looking Death Rider. 1, 2, 3, Moxley retained, or he doesn't really retain because the title wasn't on the line, but he preserved the Continental title here. El Clone loses the Eliminator against Jon Moxley, and then legitimately on to the next segment. There was nothing else. There was no Takeshita. There was no Death Riders. There was no Don Callis family. It was basically Moxley leaving the ring and on to the next segment. Swerve Strickland, he came out, and he didn't walk out through the aisleway. He came out through the back entrance and through the timekeeper's area. So we saw footage of Swerve post-match last week with Kenny Omega. And apparently Swerve was fined $100,000 for his actions. Now, that was just a fine, no suspension. If he was suspended, he wouldn't have been on the show tonight. Prince Nana walked out, and he forced commentary to get away from the desk. And Nana introduces Swerve, who came out, stood on top of the commentary table. He asked the sickos if they missed him. Now, he addressed everybody as sickos. It wasn't him demeaning the fan base. This is what they genuinely call their fans, the sickos. So he stands on the commentary table. He addresses the fans as sickos. As he said, he figured they enjoyed what he did to Omega last week. Some didn't, and that's what happens when something happens to one of your favorites. Strickland brings up the reinforced table this week. He's making fun of the table. Look, it's reinforced this week after what I did last week. So Strickland brings up that. He's met with Kenny chants. Strickland feels no guilt. He warned Omega, who got in his path to the AEW title, and had the nerve to call someone else the most dangerous man in AEW. That someone else was Brody King. By defeating Omega, Swerve is back in line for the AEW title. He's a man of his word. He put Omega down. Omega not only challenged him as a man, but as a threat. He's another EVP he took down and not want in their problems anymore. Strickland made a killing taking down the Elite, and it all goes back to All In Texas, where he talked to Adam Page about the word regret. Page asked if he regrets what he did to get the world title. Strickland says he did, but realized that was the most successful point of his career. From this point forward, no more regrets. So a warning to the AEW roster, everyone is on notice. Anyone can get clipped if Swerve chooses so. He'll remind them who the most dangerous man in AEW still is. You know, a lot of people, Jesse, from what I saw on social media, they expected a little bit more from Swerve in this promo. I don't really think we needed anything else. I think he gave us everything that we needed him to say. And quite honestly, coming out of last week and what I said, I didn't really expect him to go too far. I think what I said last week and predicted he'd say this week, I'm happy with what I got because that's exactly what I thought he was going to say.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I did feel like I was expecting a little bit more. I don't know exactly what I was expecting. I don't know. I wasn't expecting a direct quote per se, but I did expect a little bit more of an explanation. You know, when Swerve came out, what music did he come out to?
He came out to no music.
Who was the last person to come out to no music?
I don't know. I mean, our favorite Tommaso Ciampa used to come out to no music.
And when Ciampa came out to no music, you called him one of the greatest heels of all time.
Yes, but he was also met with shut the fuck up chants, and he didn't even say anything.
Great heel stuff.
That is great heel stuff. But Swerve was met with 50% cheers in a crowd filled with 2,500 people.
I don't fucking know what to.
Let me ask you. What would you have had him say? What would you have had Swerve say?
Yeah, and that's what I just said. I don't know exactly what I was expecting. I mean, just something that would have warranted the actions that he gave, I guess, because Kenny calling someone else dangerous does not warrant the actions that we got. It doesn't. The math does not math. That was not an equal response to what he was. He's angry because he said that Brody King is more dangerous than him. I mean, you care that much about what Kenny thinks about you that after the match you do this to him? It makes no sense. It's not an equal level of an explanation to what he did. Why did you do what you did after the match? You did what you did after the match. You could have you beat him in the match. I'll show you for calling someone else the most dangerous man. I beat you in the match. That would explain having a match and beating him. It doesn't explain attacking him after the match.
But what could he have done in the match to give off the impression that he was the most dangerous man in AEW? He had to work within the confines of the rules of a one-on-one match.
The motherfucker inexplicably pulled the female referee in front of him.
That doesn't make somebody the most dangerous man in AEW, though.
That makes him extremely dangerous and unpredictable when you don't know he's going to pull a stunt like that.
That makes him unpredictable. It makes him calculated. It doesn't make him dangerous.
Unpredictable and dangerous.
I would say it makes him smart because he used his surroundings to the best of his ability and got away with something.
I wouldn't call it smart. It makes him a pussy. It's a conniving move.
He won the match. A win is a win.
No, that does no.
Bro, if the Braves won the World Series on a fucking botched infield error and the home plate and the guy on third base hit home plate and got the winning run and won the game, you think I'm gonna fucking care? Oh man, I would have loved a home run here. I would have loved a grandiose World Series. Well, I'll take it any way I can.
The Houston Astros won the World Series by cheating. Is that okay?
Well, no, that's not a good example here. They're fucking cheaters.
No, really? We're talking about cheating.
That's not a good example here.
Right. I just feel like his actions didn't quite level out to what he said his reasoning was for doing it. I mean, yeah, that was just me. I'm not on social media like you are, so I don't know what everyone else was saying about it. But for me, yeah, I thought there may have been a deeper explanation as to why he did what he did.
Well, he said what he said, and I'm not surprised he said what he said here. He wants to show Kenny that he's the most dangerous man. Obviously, the words of Omega saying Brody King was more dangerous did a lot to him mentally, so he snapped on Omega, and he said he's not going to allow anybody and think about regret when getting back the AEW World Championship. So he's going to do things a little bit differently here. Brody King, speaking of which, he was backstage with Bandito. He says he has a problem with Strickland, claiming he deserves to be the next AEW champion. Tonight, Brody gets Mark Davis, and he's going to prove why he's the next in line for the AEW World Championship. So Brody's back on TV. AEW's taking a risk. They knew what they were getting themselves into with Brody being back on television. And we'll worry about that a little bit later because he did wrestle Mark Davis a little bit later in the show. Orange Cassidy versus Gabe Kidd. You know, another one of those matches that listen, everybody was singing Gabe Kidd's praises. Last year when Kenny Omega came back and he wrestled Omega at Wrestle Kingdom, Gabe Kidd he's fine at what he does. But for me or you or anybody else to genuinely care about this, Jesse, I feel like this is another one of those things where we're just running around in circles. The War Dogs just randomly show up on television with no real explanation as to why they're there, who they're working for, what their mission is. They're just there. And now Orange Cassidy's getting involved, and clearly they have an issue with Darby Allin, which I'm assuming will get Darby Allin versus Gabe Kidd at some point, possibly at the pay-per-view at Revolution. How can anyone fucking care about this? Like, this is just bottom of the barrel stuff.
Is Gabe Kidd still a Death Rider?
I don't know. I believe he's like a mercenary. He's like a hired contract when they need him.
What does that mean? That means by that logic, he should be a mercenary for anyone then. Is he just a mercenary? If you're just a mercenary just for the Death Riders, then you're just a Death Rider. But if you're a mercenary by anybody who will pay you, then you're a mercenary.
I don't know. I don't know what their reason is.
I'm trying to figure this shit out, man.
Why Clark Connors got no who? Oh, Clark Connors. Why he got no introduction? Why he got no like, who the fuck is he? What is he doing here?
Nah, forget that. I'm still trying to figure out who this woman is with Megan Bain.
Oh yeah, don't get me started there.
I don't know what's going on anywhere.
We'll talk about that. This match went 10 minutes. I mean, I don't know what you guys want me to say here. Is this something that you're invested in? Probably not. Match went 10 minutes. Gabe Kidd wins. Cassidy went for an orange punch. Kidd pulled the ref in his path. Cassidy held up, not to hit the referee. Gabe Kidd then gouged his eyes and landed a leaping pile driver for the 1-2-3. There you go. After the match, Clark Connors ran out and attacked Cassidy. Shivani said Connors hadn't forgotten last week. Darby Allin's music played. He arrived with his skateboard. He rolled down the aisleway with the skateboard to Clark Connors, then charged at him and landed a code red when Clark Connors had bent over to pick it up. Cassidy then gave Connors an orange punch. Darby landed a top rope stomp to Gabe Kidd with the skateboard and then played to the crowd as the heels were retreating. So I'm assuming we're going to get Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin versus Clark Connors and Gabe Kidd either on Saturday's Collision or next week on Dynamite. Or maybe at the pay-per-view for all we fucking know. I don't know.
I don't think they understand. We don't want to see matches with Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors and all these other fucking guys. We don't want to see matches with them until we have an understanding as to exactly who these guys are, why they are here, and what their goal is.
At any point, chat, can someone tell me, maybe Jesse knows, I don't know. At any point, did they explain that Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors are working in conjunction with the Death Riders to take out Darby Allin? Because this is what the whole thing was. Darby wanted to take out the Death Riders and take out Jon Moxley. How is it, and I said this weeks ago, how is it that Jon Moxley is evolving and getting stronger every week? And the whole mission was to take out Jon Moxley and end the Death Riders. Darby Allin's mission was this. Darby's weaker, Moxley's stronger, and now the War Dogs are trying to take out Darby. At any point, did they say that the War Dogs are working in conjunction with the Death Riders to take out Darby Allin? What is their purpose? What is the story? What is their mission? Has anybody said this? No.
It's very confusing.
Moxley talked about it? Where? G-Money? Where did he talk about it?
When? Who?
And don't tell me Collision, because nobody watches Collision. Give me a break.
So again, I don't want to see wrestling matches with a bunch of guys that I have no investment in. And I can't get an investment in these guys until you start giving me a reason to be invested in these guys. Since you have not done that, then the matches that they have are just uninteresting to me. They're just very uninteresting to me. If I got up from here right now and walked into an indie show, sat down and watched the match, I would have the same investment in that match I just sat down to watch as I do with any match with these guys that we're talking about. I'm just watching two dudes grapple. I could be watching some grappling and some sparring sessions at House of Glory. I could be watching Mercedes spar with Amazing Red in the ring. I mean, they're just moving around and doing some grapples. That's exactly what I'm looking at. I'm looking at an art form. Yeah, for sure. I mean, because these people are great at what they do, but at the end of the day, why do I care?
We had a show on Friday. We had a show on Friday in Queens, House of Glory. And every match on the show, you understood why. And we did our best on commentary to give you the reason as to why this match was happening. I don't understand why any of this is happening. How many times do we need to tell you that the why is the most important thing in anything that you do here in pro wrestling? And this is not it.
Yeah.
It's basically non-existent. So Gabe Kidd wins in 10 minutes. I'm assuming we're going to get Gabe Kidd and Darby Allin at some point in the future, at Revolution more than likely. And then what happens after that? Darby Allin is one of the more beloved baby faces in the company. A baby face that desperately needs to be in the main event scene because the baby faces right now, they're all chasing MJF. Why is Darby not in discussion there? They have a history. So why not get him involved there? You got one of your most over baby faces fucking around in the mid-card with two guys that didn't even get an introduction as to why they're here in AEW.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just food for thought there, TK. Food for thought. Renee.
Wow.
She interviewed Thunder Rosa and Chris Statlander, who is cleared and ready to return to action. Rosa said the title she holds was made by women like her. Tekla. She's talking about Tekla, Jesse. The title Tekla has. She said she'll beat Tekla in El Paso, Texas, next week. Statlander told her, be careful. Rosa asked if she thinks she can't do it. Statlander said she'll be there, but she should be careful. Rosa says, I don't do careful. Renee asked Statlander why she's so concerned about Thunder Rosa taking the match. Statlander looked at Renee, shook her head, and walked off. So, Jesse, Thunder Rosa is back on television. Another solid addition to the women's division. Thunder Rosa is back to basically give Tekla a championship match because they're going to El Paso, Texas. Thunder Rosa is from Texas, and she is going to lose in her hometown. It's basically what it boils down to.
You have a very nice vehicle at home. What kind of vehicle do you have at home?
I have a Dark Horse Mustang.
Beautiful car.
Yeah.
Very rare.
Yeah.
If I were you, I would feel comfortable enough to wager that Dark Horse that Thunder Rosa is not winning the match. There is just no chance in hell. To quote Mr. McMahon, there is just no chance in hell Thunder Rosa wins this match. So, my next question will be, well, why are we having it? What is the B plot story? And it is exactly what you just said. It is Chris Statlander seemingly worried about Thunder Rosa taking the match. All right. I also am not understanding why she's so worried about it, other than if she's worried about the rest of the sorority sisters or the Sisters of Sin, of them getting involved. I mean, outside of that, I'm not sure exactly what it is she's worried about. But yeah, Thunder Rosa is definitely taking in a hometown L in this match. So I'm not exactly sure how she came off of the injured reserve for a year and jumped right into a title match. But hey,
well, you know, she beat Julia Hart on Saturday's Collision, so now she gets a championship match in El Paso, Texas. You see,
we haven't even seen Julia Hart.
Bro, I gotta ask, where's the rest of this women's division, man? Aren't they loaded with women talent over in AEW? Why does it seem like there's the same 4, 5, 6 women on the show every single week?
Where's everybody? Where are they? Where is Deonna Purrazzo?
Who?
I'm looking at WWE. I'm looking at a WWE show. And it must have been Raw because I don't watch SmackDown because I don't want to torture myself. Says the guy who eats fucking hot sauce. But I'm looking at a WWE show and I'm looking at a commercial looking at Deonna Purrazzo in the commercial. I've seen Deonna Purrazzo watching WWE more than I've seen Deonna Purrazzo watching AEW.
You know, Deonna went on social media and complained that all she wants to do is wrestle. She is the women's pure champion, I believe, over in Ring of Honor. Well, I mean, it's a shocker to me. I mean, I'm surprised they still have a fucking audience. I think the only people watching Ring of Honor are the people over at Fightful Select. I don't know. But she complained on social media about wanting to just wrestle because she hasn't wrestled since she's won the championship. She hasn't defended it yet. So Tony Khan gives her a championship match at this week's upcoming tapings against Trish Adora. So she's got a title defense coming up. Bro, your guess is as good as mine, bro. I don't know, nor do I care. So Deonna's getting some in-ring work for the first time in several weeks.
It would seem to me like he courted and brought her in with some high expectations, I would assume. I'm trying to figure out why he's not utilizing her to the best of her ability.
Beats me.
I would love an explanation as to why we're not seeing her on our TVs every single last Wednesday night.
Bro, wasn't she a belt collector before belt collecting was cool?
She was the absolute best thing in a TNA locker room for the longest time. And he brought her in, I'm assuming based off the stellar work that she has done in TNA, brought her in, put her on TV, on national television, so she can get her craft out there. And he's proceeded to keep her off TV. Now, if there's another reason that I'm unaware of, I'm sorry, but we were not given this reason. So I have to ask the question, why is she not on Dynamite every week?
I don't know. I'd love to know where the rest of this women's division is. We got tag teams. We got tag team titles. Where are the rest of the tag teams? Why aren't we seeing tag team matches every week with up-and-coming teams getting ready to challenge the Babes of Wrath? Why is it mega bad every single week? And injury-prone Penelope Ford? I don't know.
I would love to know. Where's Camille?
Who?
Exactly.
Camille?
Just wondering, what is going on?
Chameleon? Petco, bro. Go. That's where the pets go. Go buy yourself a nice pet chameleon at Petco. Aisle 4.
I read somewhere very recently that a certain dentist is no longer practicing dentistry.
That's good. That's good.
So, now my next question is, now follow me here. I know we know what we know, but still the question still exists. What is she doing then?
Britt Baker is, what's the best way for me to put it? Britt Baker is
Guantanamo Bay.
No, man, this is worse than Guantanamo Bay. I'm trying to think about what's worse than the dreaded Guantanamo Bay.
It can't get much worse than
bro.
that.
I'm watching Stranger Things, so I'm all about Stranger Things, bro. This is like Vecna banishing you to the upside down, and you cannot. There's no portal to come back home, bro.
There is no open portals.
Finished. You're running around the upside down looking for some solace, and
oh my god,
that's it, man. It's no mas.
It's Britt is hanging out with Barb, huh?
Listen, man, Britt is Barb. Britt is Barb, man. That's the best way for me to put it, man. Laying at the bottom of a fucking empty pool in the upside down, man. Goodbye.
I don't know. It just, at the end of the day, like we just got done sitting to talk about all these things that they're not seemingly going right, that are the people that are on TV. But now we want to know what happened to Deonna Purrazzo, what happened to Britt Baker, what happened. If they put them on TV, I mean, we'd probably be asking the same question about them as well.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Stacked women's division, you see maybe 10% of it every single week. Not even 5%.
Ooh, I like this one. Wait a minute. By MM949, he says,
"Yep,
they're in solitary confinement."
That's a good one.
I like that one.
Solitary confinement. Yes.
That's
trademark it. There you go.
Yeah.
The Jet, Kevin Knight, he went one-on-one, Jesse, with Mansoor. Oh man, look at this. This is why we do what we do, man. Mansoor.
Jesus Christ.
Bro, why did Mansoor get so much offense in a 3-minute match?
No, I think you're getting way ahead of us here. I think you're getting way ahead of the project. How about, why is this match happening? Let's start there first.
I don't know.
Why is Mansoor in a match with Kevin Knight on Dynamite? Seems like a match for Dark.
Do you know if Tony Khan left this off the card tonight that we'd be off the air 4 minutes earlier?
And I don't think anybody would be sitting around complaining, saying, you know what? we didn't get any Kevin Knight versus Mansoor matches.
I guarantee you nobody leaving that building tonight in Denver, Colorado is wondering about the Mansoor and Jet Speed match on Dynamite on Wednesday night.
Ooh, man. They're in the parking lot walking back. Bro, did you see Mansoor? And oh, boy. No, man. The match didn't need to be at all. It's definitely an ROH match for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. At this point, I put up my beloved Dr. Disrespect gif of him sleeping because I'm like, what are we watching here, bro? Can we get something? Literally anything. But Jet Kevin Knight wins with the UFO splash. Knight took the microphone, unfortunately, after the match was over, said it felt good, called himself Mr. Two Fly in Mile High City. He said Hangman's going to wipe the floor with MJF's ass. He said he wants to be Hangman's first challenger after he wins the title from MJF. He said it might be premature, but he isn't just the future, but he's the here and the now. You know, he's the future, Jesse, because you got to win over Mansoor.
Yeah, I mean, bro, everybody knows once you beat Mansoor, I mean, you're on the right trajectory, bro.
He's on the cusp of that all-in main event, bro. Is Kevin Knight.
I heard AJ Styles was leaving WWE to come over to AEW to get a match with Mansoor.
I don't know. I heard today that AJ Styles was given a contract to stay with WWE to train the future at the Performance Center.
I heard he had severe neck pains.
I heard that too.
Yeah. That's more concerning for me.
That's definitely more concerning.
Ugh.
I don't know. Let the man rest is what I say.
I said it before when we talked about this shit. I'll say it again. I say you let AJ Styles do whatever the holy hell AJ Styles wants to do. He has earned to call his shot. Whatever he wants to do in this industry, I think AJ Styles has earned the right to do just that.
Bro, you know what I'm wondering here is the fact that you got all these guys battling each other over the right to be number one contender for MJF in the World Championship. But Kevin Knight comes out tonight. He beats Mansoor, and he says, I want the next shot at the next world champion.
There you go.
I mean, if it's that easy, what the fuck is everybody battling over the world title for?
Oh, just go beat Mansoor. You got it. Done.
Oh, my God. What's the other guy's name? What's the other guy's name?
Mansoor and oh my God, I don't know it. But
it's Mace, right? Mace from Retribution. Yeah, that's who he is.
I don't know, but I feel better for not knowing. Yeah, you beat him too, and then oh my God.
Oh man, if you beat Mace, then you're really you're on the WrestleMania cusp of the WrestleMania main event, bro.
There we go, man. You throw in the pizza guy too. Why not? And there you go. And Hamburglar, why not?
The pizza guy, Luigi? What's his name?
There you go. That is name.
Luigi Mangione? What's his name?
No, I think that's a different guy. I still see him twirling pizzas on social media from time to time.
It's me, Mario.
Oh my God.
Tony Schiavone. Oh, Marseille. Oh, his name is Marseille now. Oh, all right. There you go.
I'm Mace. What is wrong with you?
It's Mace, but split up, bro. It's MA.C. Marseille.
Fucking why? Why did he sign them? You have a bloated roster. You have a bloated roster.
It's Luigi Primo. Oh, that's his name. The pizza guy.
That's it.
It's Luigi Primo.
And you were talking about the wrong Luigi.
Yeah, I was talking about the other guy, man, who did heinous acts of murder over there in New York City.
Like Stone Cold Killer, man. What the fuck?
Oh, my God. Tony Schiavone. The less we see of him, the better. He's in the ring with Hangman. MJF wanted no part of the Texas death match that Hangman proposed last week. Nigel said Hangman has a great record in those matches. Schiavone introduced MJF. MJF tells the fans to be quiet. And he said it was brave of Hangman to offer to never challenge for the AEW World title again if he lost to him. If he was a historian, he should know he's the second man whose AEW career he ended by making sure they could never be champion again. Cody. You know how all that worked out, right?
Oh, yeah.
He went on to say the fans in Denver are stupid, ignorant potheads. He says they won't have any say in the stipulation for his world championship. MJF said if you smoke dope, you'll go broke. I mean, I don't find any lies in that statement, so good on MJF for preaching the fact that smoking is terrible for you.
That don't even rhyme.
Basically, bro, he's basically said it all so many words. If you're a pothead, you're probably a fucking minimum wage loser, man. That's what he's fucking saying.
Oh my God.
Or maybe jobless. Never mind minimum wage. Maybe you just live at home with your parents and you smoke weed all day and play fucking Warzone.
Snoop Dogg smokes weed all day. He seems to be pretty affluent.
Yeah, well, I mean, he has the right to because he's a multi-Grammy award-winning artist.
Yeah. Before that, he smoked weed, though.
He did. So MJF paused. He says he wanted to throw his gum into the garbage, and he threw his gum into the crowd.
Oh, my God, man. Guy's a dick.
Oh, man. MJF says he has to come up with a way to decide which stipulation they go with, flipping a coin. He says his match stipulation is the greatest stipulation ever conceived. He says he calls it the one-way, no DQ match.
It's so stupid.
Where he can, I don't think we've ever had this type of match done before.
No.
Where he can do whatever he wants, but if Hangman even looks at a foreign object, he'd get disqualified. He asked if he's up for a game of chance. Are you a cowboy or are you a coward? Hangman soaked up the idea, and fans were chanting cowboy shit. Hangman basically said, yeah, I'll do it. He asked MJF to be sure he knows what he's doing. He said Texas death would change him. He asked how he'd feel if he poured broken glass on the mat and then dragged MJF by his ankles through it. He then brought up taking barbed wire and pulling it against his lips to tear out his tongue. Who would be, he said, standing across the ring from him knowing his usual bag of tricks would mean nothing. He said MJF calls himself the devil, but this hell is mine, and if it's Texas death, Max, you don't stand the chance. So Hangman says he could beat his ass in any kind of match, even your dog shit idea, and then fans started chanting dog shit. He says he has put his entire future on the line. He wants their match at Revolution to be final and leave no doubt who the better man is. He said if he can't beat a piece of shit like you, then I don't deserve the championship. And then fans chanted piece of shit. Hangman says he's feeling lucky, flipped the coin. MJF says he's also feeling lucky. He flipped the coin. It came up heads. MJF told Tony Schiavone, read the result. Schiavone said at Revolution, it'll be a one-way, no DQ match. Did Tony Schiavone check to see if the coin had other side? Nobody did. So MJF was smart enough to walk away, take the coin, and bolt out of there. And then Hangman all of a sudden said, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let me see that quarter. So MJF yelled that he wasn't giving him a damn thing. Kevin Knight, Mike Bailey walked out. MJF got past them. Brody Cam Bandito then walked out. He did not get past them. So Hangman asked, how big of a dumbass you think I am? He said he knew MJF wouldn't leave it to chance. So why didn't you just fucking take the coin while it was flipping in air and just say, you know what? I don't trust this shit. Look at this. Two-sided coin. What do you fucking buy it on eBay, Etsy? What happened? How do you make a two-sided coin anyway?
You buy a gimmick coin.
Yeah. So Brody yanked the coin out of his hands. Hangman saw it was heads on both sides. MJF says they could use a different coin. Schiavone says, no, we got word from Tony Khan that because the coin was rigged, the match will be Texas death. MJF dropped to his knees in panic, and Hangman smiled. This is the worst case scenario for MJF, says Excalibur. Nigel said 2 heads are definitely not better than 1 for MJF. And fans then started chanting, you fucked up. You fucked up. Again, good segment. I was entertained. I would have just had Hangman outsmart him in mid-coin flip without the need for the other babyfaces to come out and kind of bully him back to the ring. But I get what they tried to do. I just would have made it a little bit more streamlined. But all in all, we got a stipulation, Jesse. We got a world title match. Hopefully some finality for this. And we move on to whatever MJF's doing next.
Two-headed coin.
Two-headed coin. Amazon. There you go. Look at that. How much?
Okay.
$6.99.
$6.99.
There you go.
Two-headed coin. There you go, brother.
There you go.
Yeah, like I said, we covered this earlier on in the stream.
Yeah.
You know, I enjoyed the segment. You know, the segment was fun. You know, which is all I really want. I mean, I at the end of the day, you know what? I don't want to criticize this segment very much because at the end of the day, I want more segments like this instead of all wrestling all the time. You know, I watched an episode recently on YouTube of Lucha Underground.
Oh boy.
And I think there was like 2 or 3 matches in the whole fucking show. And they just had these pre-recorded, these dramatically soap opera lighting type pre-recorded segments of everybody talking about their feuds and what they were gonna do and why they were having the matches. And I'm just so into it. I'm just so well shot. And like this dude looks so mad. I bet he's gonna beat the crap out of that guy at the show. I want to see that match. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just again, for inspiration to anybody who might be watching, Lucha Underground had I won't say the perfect, but they had a really good formula for getting people interested in their matches by the cinematic way that they shot them. It was done well. And AEW has shot some of their segments in the same vein that we would look at those and say that was shot extremely well. It was done perfectly. But they only do them like once in the blue moon.
You know, if AEW really wanted to fucking step up their game, they should be looking at shit like that and doing stuff like that, honestly.
Yeah, man. Those pre-recorded those high quality, high produced pre-recorded segments are worth a lot more than I think that they know. Because if they knew, they would be doing them a lot more.
Well, you know what they need to do first, Jesse? Tell stories so that they are able to do stuff like that.
Yeah, the segments will help facilitate that.
Yeah.
You know, you give us some more backstory. You can give us some more reasons to want to see the matches in those segments. They were done so fucking well. Dario Cueto. Oh my God, man. So good.
Excalibur brings up the women's tag team title match, which is coming up next, which gives way to a vignette with the Brawling Birds.
Caw-caw.
Caw-caw! We go backstage. Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor, who says they beat the piss out of those two, whoever they wrestled on last week's show, two nobodies. Viva Van, I think, was one of them. And Becca was the other, if I'm not mistaken. They beat the piss out of those two and said it's no skin off their noses. They aren't here to shake hands and have a jolly old time. They're here to beat the piss out of people. They're the birds, and they don't give a flying fuck.
See what they did there.
And then they walked off to enjoy a pint. You know, bro, if that is what they're going with, I could get behind them. They don't give a flying fuck, and they go off and drink Guinness.
That's probably going to get shut down sooner or later by the network.
Hey, listen, they bleeped it out.
Oh, did they? Oh, okay.
As long as you bleep it out, it's good.
I think you should leave it in.
Leave it in? No, I mean, you can't leave it in. Then they get fined.
No, flock. No, say flock.
No, it's not the same.
Even flying flock.
No, that's not the same. Even though I could see Jamie Hayter being a fan of puns, you know? I don't know.
Want them to get away from the 70s gimmick with her.
Well, I mean, this I could see these two challenging whoever the tag team champions are at Wembley. That's what they're setting up for. They're going to have them run through teams randomly, and they're going to build some momentum, and then hometown, boom, tag team championship match. That's exactly what they're doing.
That's fine. That's great. I don't see nothing wrong with them as a tag team. I do feel like they are better as singles competitors. They are very good in the ring, but if they're very good as single, they can be good as a tag team as well. And if they need more singles, they can always break up the team. So I'm not against the team, but I mean, as long as they understand that they have two extremely talented wrestlers held up in a tag team. So,
Babes of Wrath, Willow Nightingale, the TBS champion, and Harley Cameron versus Mega Bad, Megan Bain and Penelope Ford. I don't know how many times we're going to get this same match without giving us a different result. I don't know. How many times have we seen this match now? It's got to be at least 3-4 times, right?
Don't know, man. Stop caring.
I stopped caring too. I just can't bring myself to care about any of this. It's the same shit over and over again. Megan Bain gets no reaction when it comes out. Her theme music is fucking terrible. And the Babes of Wrath have lost all their appeal and all their luster. I just don't care. Tag team champions as well. They lost their appeal. They lost their luster. It doesn't mean much of anything, honestly. So, yeah, this was a fucking mess because, you know, we go into a commercial. Harley Cameron hits a DDT. Nightingale made a hot tag. She planted Bane with a huge spine buster. Megan Bain fought off a Death Valley driver. She tried Fate's Descent, which is her version of the F5. Nightingale countered into a released German suplex outside. Followed up with a cannonball off the apron. So back inside, Nightingale tried for the Doctor Bomb. Megan Bain backed her into a corner. All of a sudden, I'm sitting there on the couch, and Lena Cross, who? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, chat. Lena Cross shows up, Jesse, and at this point, we didn't know what the fuck was going on. So I'm watching this, and I'm saying, why did she just blatantly disqualify the fucking match when the women that she's trying to help are trying to win the tag team championships? Like, what the fuck did you do? So she came in and decked Nightingale with the tag team title for the disqualification. McGinnis tells us that Penelope Ford is hurt and down by ringside. I don't even know what the fuck happened. I don't know if it was something that happened or people were telling me that it was off a moonsault spot. So Cross and Bain stood tall. At this point, we never saw Ford again during the match, and that was basically it.
They must have called an audible today.
I have news on it. That's exactly what they did. Sean Rossat put up a Fightful Select piece. This was absolutely an audible. During the Babes of Wrath Mega Bad match, Penelope Ford sustained an injury that took her out of the match. An audible was called during the match that Lena Cross would run in and cause a DQ instead of leaving a match as 2-on-1 where the heel in Bane had to fight from behind. During the commercial break, Penelope Ford was checked on and ruled out of the match after Harley Cameron tagged out. She largely stayed out of the match as well. They said Fightful is working on an update on Penelope Ford's status. The audible was called mid-match from the back to help cover the original plans.
Okay, then it all makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's fucked up for Penelope Ford, bro. She just got injured, came back, and now is injured again. And this is like the third time she's injured. At what point do we start questioning if she is just now injury prone, man? You know?
It sucks for her, man. I hope it's not serious. I hope she gets well soon. But yeah, that does suck. She is coming across a lot of unfortunate injuries as of late. That sucks.
You know, as far as Lena Cross, like I know what Lena Cross is capable of. She was in House of Glory wrestling Megan Bain. It was back in 2024. Fantastic match. If you guys can find it, it might be on YouTube.
Wait, that the match I was there for with her?
I don't know. I know. I think this was in New York. I don't think this was in one of the Chicago shows. No. But Lena is very good. The thing that I have a problem with here is, you know, Lena Cross comes out. Nobody knows who the fuck she is. She gets no reaction. AEW has done a piss poor job of filling us in. Like, you know, she debuted 2 weeks ago at Grand Slam. In between that time and tonight, we should have gotten a video package, why she's aligned with Megan Bain and Penelope Ford, what she's doing here. We got who she is. We don't know a fucking thing about why she's here. Now I'm assuming that if Penelope Ford is out for any substantial amount of time, that Lena Cross is going to fill in and team with Megan Bain, which in my opinion would probably make a better tag team than Penelope Ford and Megan Bain, just because the look of both of those women fits a lot better as a tag team. But I mean, Jesse, correct me if I'm wrong. Who is she and why haven't we gotten any idea of why she's here? I mean, AEW's dropped the ball.
I have no idea. I don't remember them highlighting or focusing on any backstory as far as who she is, where she's from, what she's doing here, which is par for the course, man. That is the same thing with so many different people on the roster. Who are you? Why are you here? What is your goal here? What brought you here? You know, what can we expect from you? These are all questions that we I guess we kind of take for granted because we just assume that these questions will be answered to us in due time. But too many times has these questions gone unanswered just for months. They just forgot about it. They just throw them into the fire. And it's not even fair for the talent. It's not fair for Lena Cross to have to get herself over with absolutely no help from management and creative whatsoever. It's the show is on, go out there and do this. And the crowd is not going to connect with you like that. Not at all. Not a one single bit. Nobody is running out to buy her merch. No one is rushing out to buy tickets to see her matches because you have not given us a reason to care. So they're going to sink before they swim. And it's not their fault. It's creative's fault.
Yeah, they got a lot of work to do, man. I mean, these women's tag team titles are right where I expected them to be, and they're basically irrelevant. They don't mean anything. And no matter how good Willow Nightingale is, she can't do it by herself. So I'd say get the titles off of them, put them on fucking Megabad or whoever you want to put them on, and start building the Brawling Birds to take those belts, as if that really means anything, and get Willow back into the TBS title division and have her do what she needs to do with that championship.
Yes, and Megan Bayne needs to have a world title around her waist.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't know what they're doing with Megan Bayne. It may be Megan Bayne and Willow at the pay-per-view. It may be these two here against the Babes of Wrath. I don't know. I don't know.
I get it.
Brody King. He went one-on-one with Mark Davis of the Don Callis family. So this was just not really an exhibition, but a way to get Brody a win, to get him back in title contention via a win. So this was that. Fuck Ice chants rang out in Denver. It was fuck Don Callis, fuck Ice 2 chants.
Fuck Ice 2. I thought that was pretty funny.
So you know what bothers me? The chants don't bother me. Whatever. It's the fact that every account that is in the IWC that reports news, every single time there's a fuck Ice chant on AEW Dynamite, they have to tweet out or put a report out. There was a fuck Ice chant on so-and-so Dynamite on this date on Brody King's match.
Get over it.
Like, all right, bro. I mean, it happened the first time. It got picked up by national news. Why do we need to keep aggregating something that's only going to incite division? Like, I don't understand it. Like, shut the fuck up. Who gives a fuck?
I agree. I think it was newsworthy the first time that it happened. You know, after that, like, what are we doing here, bro? Just move on.
Like, just stop. Fightful does it. Body Slam does it. Fucking Wrestle Purist does it. Like, honestly, and I mean this in a calm demeanor. Like, please shut the fuck up. Like, it's so stupid. You're not doing anything. You're not slick. You're not doing anything, groundbreaking there. Just stop. You're all making yourself look like fools. So Brody, he wins this match because who the fuck else is going to win this match? Not a bad match. Two brutes in there. Mark Davis, he's good for what his job is tasked at doing. And that's being a bruiser type performer. And Brody, big fans of Brody here. I think that he absolutely needs to be built up in a meaningful way to get back in title contention. Hopefully they know what they're doing. But he beat Mark Davis here. Not really much to the match. And it was with Davis at the end here. He missed a home run lariat. Brody King hits a backdrop driver. Davis popped up. He takes King out with a lariat. Davis missed his sprinting lariat. King answered with multiple lariats. And the last one, he swung for the fences. It was almost like a big roaring lariat like JBL. 1, 2, 3. He gets the win over Mark Davis. Thanks for coming. Post-match, Bandito came to the ring to celebrate as the doctor checked on Mark Davis. I don't know if it was his hand or not from last week, but I hope he's not injured. So Brody took the microphone and told Swerve that he wants him to look him in the eye. He's the most dangerous man in AEW instead of Revolution, his backyard. He's looking for a fight. So Swerve and Prince Nana were watching backstage, and they walked off. So I'm assuming that they are all ears on this challenge. Bandito then took the microphone and says, I want to fight at Revolution as well. And then out comes Andrade El Idolo. His music hits. Don Callis by his side. It looks like Bandito's challenge has been answered by Andrade for Revolution. So I'll start with Brody, Jesse. Clearly, they're not going to leave Swerve off the pay-per-view if he's ready to go. Omega's going to be in Japan wrestling competing rather, not wrestling, but competing in a Street Fighter tournament. So they got to do something with Swerve. So this is the natural thing to do with him and Brody. Brody's not going to beat Swerve after he just quote-unquote soft heel turned. So I think that's pretty predictable, though it's an interesting match based on size and speed. But Bandito and Andrade, normally I'd be the first person in line saying, where's the story? Where's the story? This is a waste of time. But Andrade is fucking incredible. So is Bandito. I'm very high on both guys. But this is like one of those dream match scenarios, bro, where I don't think I'm going to complain one bit because the match itself has match of the year credentials written all over it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I will because they had plenty of time to build to this, and why didn't they?
Yeah.
And Bandito's wearing a wrist cast, is he not?
Yes, he is.
What the
Yeah.
fuck is going on here?
He's hurt. He's recuperating from a wrist injury. Yes.
Okay. Now, am I the only one that was sitting around waiting for Bandito to turn heel at some point here?
No. In fact, I thought Brody was going to turn on Bandito.
Really? Oh, that would be so dumb.
It would be dumb. Before we got the ice chance, I was thinking that. Now they're not going to turn him.
No, that would be so. You can't do that. He's such a hot baby face right now. But I'm sitting there thinking that, and I was thinking this last week. I'm like, is this dude about to turn? He's acting like he wanted to turn heel on Brody, which would give Brody something to do of interest and keep him away from the title for a little bit. So I was actually okay with that. But let's see what they got going on. Maybe it'll still happen. Who knows? Look, will the match with Bandito and Andrade slay? Yes. Yes, it's going to slay. It really will. But at least that'll be at a pay-per-view, I guess, where I'm at a setting where I'm sitting around expecting to watch nothing but just pure wrestling, because that's what we get at pay-per-views.
Yep.
If you just throw it on TV, I'm going to get bored with it pretty quickly, to be honest, because there's no story behind it.
Yeah, it gives Andrade a win to get him back into title contention as well. So, I agree. They have plenty of time between now and then to tell some sort of little story. Hopefully they do. But knowing Tony Khan, it's two great wrestlers. He's going to throw them out there to have them go and give us a great match, and that's all he's going to leave it at. I'm not really expecting much to be done there to add a log here and a log there to the fire. So, great match, and Andrade answers the open challenge for Bandito. We got Kyle Fletcher in the backstage with Renee. She said Tommaso Ciampa claims that he's the rightful TNT champion and wants Sylvie back. So Fletcher has a pink title, and he's calling his pink title, Jesse, Pinky. He's got a pink TNT title. So Okada walks in and says they've both been champions, unlike Konosuke Takeshita. He proposed that they team up as Proto-Okada for the first time on Saturday night. Fletcher smiled because he's usually Proto-Shida with Takeshita, but that's what's happening on Collision. I don't know who they're wrestling, but Fletcher smiled and shook hands, and he's going to team with Okada on Saturday night.
Men of culture understand the comedy of calling the belt Pinky, but I'm not going there.
No need for an explanation there. I think everybody should get the inside joke there.
Men of culture, we all get it.
It looks like Jesse, we may be getting Tommaso Ciampa against Kyle Fletcher at the pay-per-view, which I have no problems with. I wish they tell a fucking story with something to do with Ciampa getting back on Dynamite, but we haven't even seen him since he lost.
I don't know what I want to see from Ciampa at this point. I don't know if I want to see him hanging around Kyle Fletcher, because this is going to just equal more L's.
He will be losing, yes.
Yeah, even if it doesn't, now you're hot potatoing the title. So, I mean, nothing good is going to come from this. So, I mean, I would rather just see him move on. I don't know why they put him in the middle of this shit just to give him the title and yank it away in 2 weeks. I don't understand it. I don't understand the logic behind it. I want to, but I just don't. So I don't know. Let's see what they give us, I guess. And I'm sure it'll be fun. It'll be great, but it's not gonna end well for Tommaso Ciampa.
Fletcher and Okada's team name should be Pinky and the Rain.
Ooh, that's a good. Ooh, that's a real good one.
I like that. That's Kingdom Kid in the chat. Look at that.
Ooh.
You know, I used to watch Pinky and the Brain a lot over my grandma's house.
Bro, I got the DVD set downstairs somewhere, man.
They don't make cartoons like that anymore, huh?
No, they don't. Well, they make one. They make one. Big City Greens. Anybody here with kids, you know what Big City Greens is. Big City Greens, I would say on some level with the Pinky and the Brain. But outside of that, no, they don't make cartoons like that anymore.
We are nearing the end here. Mercifully, chat. FTR and Dax Cash with Ricochet, Gates of Agony, Toa Leona, Bishop Khan versus the Young Bucks, Jack Perry, and the Rascals. This was billed as a Mile High Madness match. This was basically a mini version of Anarchy in the Arena because they are void of ideas. And I don't know what the bright minds over at AEW think when they put these shows together. They have done this on multiple occasions outside of the Anarchy in the Arena stipulation. The more you do the recurring theme playing over and over and over again, and you have a 10-man absolute warfare all over the building type of match with the theme music blaring 3 or 4 times consecutively in a row, you do realize that when you go back and do Anarchy in the Arena, because they're going to do it again. They do it every year. You know that when they do it, it's not going to hit the same, because why would I care about that when I had this version here on the February 25th edition of Dynamite?
Yeah.
Or am I wrong, Jesse?
No, you get it too much, it's not as exciting when it comes around, when it normally comes around. So
like, I don't even think they should do the Anarchy in the Arena match every fucking year, but they do these ones and then they do the big one at the pay-per-view.
Yep. I don't. I mean, they're just out of ideas, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes you don't need ideas, though. Sometimes, I mean, you just.
Bro, what ideas, man? You have a brain. Use it. The more you do something, the less value it's going to have. Like if I always use the analogy. If I ate pizza 7 days a week, I love fucking pizza. Don't you get bored of pizza 7 days a week? You're gonna want steak. You're gonna want fish. You're gonna want chicken. You know, pasta. You can't do the same thing over and over again.
I mean, look, when you give us something different, is it going to be better than what you did last week? Or is it going to be better than what you're going to do next week? Maybe, maybe not. But it'll be different. It'll add some variety. It'll keep it'll keep your audience on their toes. All right? I mean, but you don't have to give us these special matches that you give us once a year, because the more you give them to us, then they're not special anymore. It can't be the one time of the year when SmackDown stars face off against Raw stars when it happens every other week. So there you go.
Well, Jack Perry's theme music played at least two full times here in the opener of the match, because it was Mile High Madness here. So we got that playing over and over and over again, and the crowd was doing, whoa! They were doing all that nonsense. My recommendation, if Tony Khan wants to do another Anarchy in the Arena match, can we get like a set playlist for Anarchy in the Arena? Maybe not play the same music over and over again. Maybe we do let the bodies hit the floor. Maybe we get some Hatebreed. Maybe we get some Slayer. Maybe we get some Metallica. A nice Spotify playlist of 3 or 4 songs that play throughout the fucking venue. Switch it up, you know? Anyway, Jungle Boy's music played 2 full times, and I'm not going to go over all this because it really meant nothing. It's all about FTR and all about the Young Bucks and their championship match. Now, Jesse, I know you watched some of Collision. What did you think of the FTR angle where they pile drove the other Buck brother on Saturday night?
I'm pumped.
You are thrilled about this match coming up. You're all in on this match.
Woo!
Oh, man.
FTR, bruh.
They did the same thing they did to Beth Phoenix to the other Buck, bro.
I mean, look, man, I don't know how much. So if I'm them, all right, and I'm just trying to put myself in creative shoes, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to tell everybody, say, look, we've done this feud multiple times. We've done this match multiple times. We need to bring something different to the table. We need to bring a different element. We need to bring something to make people say, ooh, but this time it's going to be this. I don't know what it is. I'm not telling you I have the answer for it. What I'm telling you is that it feels like nobody gave enough of a shit to care to sit down and say, we need to do something special. We need to do something different. We need to up the ante. It seems like everybody just said, okay, we're doing the Bucks and FTR again. Sounds good? Sounds good. Okay, next match. Lena Cross. You know what I'm saying? Like, no effort. No effort at all.
No, none of this was any effort, bro. This was just garbage. I don't care about any of this. You know, hopefully the Bucks and FTR get a nice stipulation. Maybe a dog. I mentioned this on TNT last night with Jason. Maybe we get a dog collar match. Maybe kind of run back the Briscoes FTR thing and just do it with the Bucks. I don't. I don't. Who? When did we do a dog collar match?
Didn't we just do a dog collar match? Not that long ago.
With who?
Fucking who was it? Because it was a pinfall match. They weren't even tagging the corner.
The last dog collar match I saw was who was it in AEW? Who was it?
Yeah, they just did one.
Chad, who was the last dog collar match, man? I'm too lazy to look it up.
Was it the women?
Was it? It might have been the women.
Was it two women that did it?
I think it might have been the women. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm waiting for chat to call it out. They're normally pretty good at this.
Punk and MJF was not the last dog collar match in AEW.
No, it's not the last dog collar match.
Briscoe and FTR, that was not the last one. There's somebody in the chat's going to know. Brody and Darby? No, I don't remember them doing it. Thunder Rosa, I want to say vividly, but I vaguely remember that Thunder Rosa might have been a part of one. Maybe. Look it up. Jesse's looking it up. That was a strap match.
I'll find it.
Dustin Rhodes did a dog collar match. Might have been. Chris and Tekla did a strap match.
Strap match. It was Chris Statlander and
that's
Tekla.
not a dog collar match, though.
It's not a dog collar match. That's a strap. Okay. All right.
It might actually be MJF and Punk. I don't know.
That was the match I was thinking of then. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Anyway, we'll look it up. It doesn't really matter. But I'd like to see something like that. The only spot that really stuck out to me here, Jesse, is it's nothing more than plunder tables and fucking brawling in the crowd with trash cans and all this nonsense. It's the same shit all the time. The only spot that I remember that sticks out to me was Jack Perry. He pulled out a vacuum cleaner underneath the ring. And I'm assuming that this has to do with the quote-unquote cleaner, their friend Kenny Omega. But they pulled out a vacuum cleaner from underneath the ring. He takes it. He takes out the canister where all the dustbin of the vacuum. He takes that off the vacuum and he smashes that over Toa Leona's head. Dust is everywhere. That is a brutal maneuver, bro, because when you empty the dustbin of a vacuum over the trash pail in your kitchen, dust gets everywhere, bro.
Yeah, take mine outside.
It is all. Yeah, I have to take it outside. That is an awful feeling, bro. So I feel for Toa Leona, man. That's got to suck.
Yeah.
That was the only spot here. Nigel was choking on the dust because it was everywhere. Fans chanted, one more table, because there was action nonstop with table spots and dives. They got their wish. Eventually, Perry landed a Canadian Destroyer on Ricochet. The Bucks hit the BTE trigger. The Bucks then launched Perry onto Ricochet with a flying knee. 1, 2, 3, and goodbye. We'll see you on Collision. So Jack Perry pinned Ricochet. I'm assuming we'll get a national title match at the pay-per-view. And then the Bucks and FTR, I'm assuming we'll get some stipulation. So Revolution is looking potentially like Jack Perry Ricochet, Bucks FTR, Brody versus Swerve, Andrade versus Bandito, Kyle Fletcher versus Tommaso Ciampa, Jon Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita, MJF versus Hangman Page, and maybe a women's tag team match between Mega Bad, depending on if Penelope Ford is back, Lena Cross and Megan Bayne versus the Babes of Wrath, and maybe Tekla versus Chris Statlander. You're looking at 9 matches, Jesse. 9 matches. Maybe.
Sweet.
It's a lot. That's way too many. You could omit maybe more. 1 or 2 from there.
We need more matches. How about 19?
More matches. That is your Dynamite, folks. Nothing really to cry home about. Collision. We'll hear from MJF on Saturday. I'm assuming it's a tape show. Sisters of Sin, Julia Hart and Sky Blue versus Thunder Rosa and Chris Statlander. Proto Kata, Kyle Fletcher and Kazuchika Okada versus Top Flight. Tony Storm versus Zeta Steel. Tommaso Ciampa versus Jay Lethal. The Brawling Birds, will be in action. Andrade versus Tomohiro Ishii. And we got an 8-man tag team match again with the Don Callis family versus the Death Riders. And we will hear, Jesse, from Tekla. Tekla, Jesse.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good to hear that.
And then Dynamite next week. It's already confirmed Tekla will defend against Thunder Rosa in El Paso, Texas. Thank you for coming home, Thunder Rosa, says TK. You are officially a loser.
You will be losing to Tekla.
Yes. That's your Dynamite coverage, folks. Not the most exciting show, but we are fair and hopefully entertaining. Thank you guys very much for watching us tonight. We're going to get into these super chats, and I'm going to jump on something gaming related, whether it's Call of Duty or Arc Raiders. Nothing. Resident Evil comes out Friday. Resident Evil 9. I heard it's a classic, they're saying.
Ooh. Are they making a VR version?
I don't know.
I got a VR for Christmas.
I'm hearing good things about this other game too, called Crimson Desert. You hear about this one?
I have not.
It's an open world game.
But as I say that, sometimes I hear about games and forget the names of them, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. So let me see the art. There it is. No, I have not seen or heard about this one. No. Oh, wow.
I know you guys heard about Blue Chew. Blue Chew's tonight's sponsor, Blue Chew Gold. Guys, if you made it through Dynamite tonight without checking your phone, pacing around your kitchen, or contemplating a nap, congratulations. That show had the energy of a 3 p.m. airport layover. And fellas, nothing kills a vibe faster than low energy. You don't want to be flat. You don't want to be coasting. You don't want people asking, is this really the main event? Which is why I'm glad we're sponsored tonight by Blue Chew Gold. It's the newest innovation from the #1 chewable ED brand. It's a 4-in-1 powerhouse, Hobbs, designed for confidence and connection when the moment actually matters. Because let's be honest, when it's time to show up, you don't want filler segment energy. You want pay-per-view main event energy. Blue Chew Gold dissolves under your tongue and can work in as little as 15 minutes. No slow build, no dragging middle hour, just elevation without hesitation. Tonight felt like a show where everyone was going through the motions. Blue Chew Gold is about not going through the motions. It's about being locked in, focused, present, ready when that spotlight hits. It's peak passion, it's peak performance, no awkward pauses, no wondering if this is going somewhere. Just getting the job done. Make life easier by getting harder. And discover your options at BlueChew.com. We got a special deal for everybody. 10% off. 10% off your order at BlueChew.com. Blue Chew Gold with code JD. That's promo code JD at BlueChew.com for more details and safety information. Deliver or visit BlueChew.com. And we thank them for sponsoring the podcast right here on Off the Script. Super chats. Hey, yeah.
Have you heard from Hooligan?
I have not. I thought he was in my stream on. I thought he was in my stream last night. I saw him.
Was he?
Yeah.
I have not seen him here in a couple of weeks.
Well, he doesn't like AEW. Maybe he just stopped watching.
Well, I mean,
which is understandable.
Well,
If you're not invested in the product, bro, nobody wants to watch us. Jason went live and he went 1 hour and 11 minutes.
Oh my God.
It's pretty bad.
Hologram has a job to do here. What the hell, man?
Michael Krause with the 199. Thank you, brother. $2 super chat follows it up with a $2 super chat. This is Michael. JD, Jesse, OTS, how's everyone? Let's go. Yeah.
There it is.
Thank you, Michael. Ali with it too. JD, favorite Van Damme movie you ever watched? You know, honestly, I don't have one.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't have one.
I guess Bloodsport. Yeah, Bloodsport.
Sure, let's go with that.
Yeah.
Caden with a 199. No message. Brandon with a $2 super chat. Guesses on how long Athena is Ring of Honor Women's Champion. Who cares? Who watches Ring of Honor?
Not me.
She's going to hold the title for what? 2,000 days? What difference does it make? There's not even fucking 20 people watching that product. Michael Krause with a $2 super chat. JD loves snow. LOL. I do not. I hate it. I can't stand it. Jorge with a $20 super chat. Hey, JD, how's everything tonight? When are you going to Squared Circle Bar? I want to go so we can meet. Nothing weird. Just trying to talk wrestling with one of the best. Much love and love everything you do. OTS for life. Jorge. I don't know, but I'm definitely going to visit the Square Circle Cafe. Soon. When the weather gets nice, for sure. Marshall with a $4.99. Hey, JD, just finished watching your Monday Night Raw review. All I'm going to say is, fuck Ted. Yeah, Ted's a bitch. Ted's banished to the ether. He's never coming back. SRH 712 with a $20 super chat. Hey, JD and Jesse, not really excited about the world title match at Revolution. I do wonder how it will be booked. Thank you both for the great content. We love you here in LA. Well, thank you, SRH. Appreciate you. I'm hoping to get out to LA at some point because I know House of Glory loves their Los Angeles faithful.
Me too, man. Never been to LA. I want to go.
Marshall D with a $4.99. Hi, guys. I wonder if Triple H is a fan of Scooby-Doo since he likes his mysteries. The Crate. Braggy. When the Elimination Chamber and the biggest thing going into Saturday is the fucking crate, and who's in the crate, what's in the crate, then you got a problem.
Yeah, especially when that crate is open, and let me tell you,
Danhausen comes out.
It's not going to live up to hype.
I don't know, man. They're in for a rude awakening if it's fucking Danhausen. HLG 2736 with a 2. JD, Jesse should try Da Bomb hot sauce from Hot Ones. Da Bomb, Jesse. You got Da Bomb?
I have it in my house somewhere, and I tried to have my family find it for me, and we couldn't find it. So I don't know if somebody threw it out by mistake or something in one of the parties I've had. But I may have to get another one. But let me tell you something, man. That stuff is like hell. It is just heat with no flavor. It's sub flavor. It has a metallic taste. Like it's just heat and it's just pain. I would gladly do this stuff over the bomb. The bomb hot sauce. The bomb is what they use to make pepper spray for weapons. Literally.
I think you're a fucking weirdo if you find enjoyment in eating that something that hot. I really do.
Yeah, that. Okay, I talk about this being hot because it's fucking hot, but at the very least, it does have flavor. It does have some sense of taste and flavor to it. The bomb hot sauce just tastes like a chemical used for weaponizing something. It is not good. It is not good.
I don't know. You're a weirdo. My brother puts hot sauce on everything. He's a weirdo.
Ugh.
The hotter, the better with him. Bill Voss with a 20 coming to us from Australia, mate. I find out that the WWE Network is available in Germany using a VPN, subscribing and watching all the years and shows I used to watch since Netflix. And WWE is too lazy to add. Feels great. There you go. ExpressVPN, use Solid Monsters code. I did.
Yeah.
Big Brian, 74 with the 35 months. Celebrating my 47th birthday with the best in the IWC. So far this week, Dynamite better than Raw. Did Kevin Knight blow MJF's simulation on his promo? His simulation or stipulation?
I'm like, what?
Why is Kevin Knight blowing anything MJF related? Please keep that to yourself, okay?
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa.
Okay? No, we don't need that type of nonsense. Seriously. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Big Brian, we got 47th birthday. Happy birthday, brother. Hopefully you enjoy it. Soundwave 80s with a $4.99. If you were a game developer, how would you make a wrestling game? How would I make a wrestling game? Seeing that AEW fucked up the one engine that everybody loved the most, I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
I was getting ready to say I would make a game just like that, but they did, and that didn't work out well.
No. Crazy man. Yeah, go ahead.
You see the text I sent you tonight?
I did not. I have to log into my PlayStation account to view what you sent me. So.
Oh, okay. I sent the triple M as well.
I have that game.
Oh, you have the game?
I have the game. Yeah.
Oh, because how much did you pay for it when you got it?
I have no idea.
Because it's like $7 right
now. Oh, I did not pay $7.
Oh God, it's like marked down from 50 to 7.
I didn't pay $7.
So I'm definitely getting into that. We're talking about Fire Pro Wrestling, chat.
Crazy Man with a $5 super chat. I did hear Julia is defending at Mania, Tiffany or EO. Also, don't be shocked if Finn costs Dom the IC title on Raw. Penta defends in a multi-man. Apparently, Crazy Man knows someone in WWE Creative.
Are the Lucha Brothers ever getting to me?
Probably not. Yeah.
Okay.
And Killer Pa with a super chat. Hey, JD, any views about AJ Styles' comments on his podcast? And Karrion Kross potentially joining the Vision as he got a text from Paul Heyman. Kross is not coming back at this current time, and I don't know what AJ Styles said on his podcast. About what? You got to fill me in, brother. I don't know. AJ Styles retired on Monday, and he's finished. Anyway, guys, that's all we got. Dead night, dead show, dead crowd. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming. Any final words here, Jesse, before I rev up the Dark Horse?
Nah, man, let's fire that bad boy up and get on out of here.
All right, let's get the fuck out of here. Thank you guys for joining us here on the AEW Dynamite post show for this Wednesday. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Go check out all the great content. Go follow Jesse on YouTube. Also follow Jesse on Twitter. And you'll see me next on Friday night after SmackDown right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.